That's exactly it. So I think what we're going to do is just talk about, like, you guys can talk about the trip there. We're gonna disguise the questions in the story. Travel, best time to go, the road. There's another question. Way to the pack, meals, tents, footwear.
All smart stuff.
Bears, south to north, north to south.
Yeah, bears.
Oh, yeah,
Bears
they're
beats
fantastic.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's a
There.
terrible Office reference.
I remember that show, though.
Yeah.
I'm old enough. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back to the Trice Life podcast. Today we have in studio, and again by studio I mean our living room, Wade SPYCHAJ.
Hey, thanks for having me again, man.
Well, yeah, like I said in our last little thing, or in our description of you from the comic one, you're the top 5 most interesting men in the world.
That's true.
I didn't want to say top 1. That felt a little.
You know, yeah.
I don't want to make you that cocky, kind of.
Yeah,
thing,
we don't. But top 5
Top
is
5.
just cocky enough.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
You scuba dive.
Right.
You're a award-winning photographer.
Sure.
You like comic books.
Love 'em.
You're 75.
Exactly.
You've done the West Coast Trail a bunch of times.
Yep.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
Right on. West Coast Trail, yeah.
So let's start real basic.
Yeah.
What the hell is the West Coast Trail?
The West Coast Trail is a 75-kilometer hike on the furthest point on Canada, on Vancouver Island.
So it's on the island. It's not
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it runs from Bamfield to Port Renfrew.
I love your maps. I'm glad you brought props.
I brought 4 maps,
Yeah. It's always about props.
It is about props, and
Yeah.
I think that I'm sure it is 75 kilometers, but it seems like it's more like 80.
Now, is this a thing that only people in Canada know about, or is this like a world
It's
known?
worldwide. It's one of the most famous hiking trails in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
So people from all over the world come and do this thing.
And I met a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And you get to meet them all. And you'll meet some today because I'm going to talk about some of the crazy adventures.
That's awesome.
And weird people we met.
So let's say, okay, so you've decided you want to do the West Coast Trail.
Yeah.
What are the first couple things you need to do to make sure you don't die?
Go
the
to
West
any
Coast Trail?
type of gym, walk, get in shape, like just walk.
Okay.
Like, it is. I always say the West Coast Trail is not as hard as we're going to describe it today, but it's worse at the same time.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this isn't a thing where like, as Barney Stinson says, you don't need to train to run a marathon. You just run a marathon.
Yeah.
It's that easy. So if you're hiking the West Coast Trail, it's not just you just start walking and you can do it. You need some.
You should. It's mental preparedness. Do a little exercise, stair stepper. Get used to a pack on your back. Just start hiking around wherever you live. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. You can find a spot.
Now, is there something that you have to be qualified to do?
No, man. You
Okay.
just. The biggest thing with the West Coast Trail is on January 9th every year it opens up and you book online and it usually fills up within a few days.
So only so many people can go.
Only so many people can go a day.
Oh.
Costs money to get on. I think the total cost just to get on to hike the trail is probably around $160.
Okay, so not
A
crazy.
new thing they've added now is when you get to your start point, I think there's a $35 charge.
And what is that going towards?
I think it's
Search and
just-
rescue?
Yeah, everything. Search and rescue. Keeping the trail groomed. It's even more. It's another $35 charge on top of your $120 fee to hike it, and then there's some.
So it's not crazy. We're not
No.
talking thousands of dollars
No.
here. Okay.
Depends where you live. Like for me to go there, I have to fly from here. to the
guess,
West Coast.
yes.
I got to get a hotel. Then you got to
Right.
get the shuttle to get there,
Yeah.
and then. But so what? It's just money.
Yeah, it's just money.
Yeah.
You can always find more.
You can find more. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've decided we're going to do the West Coast Trail. We've got to Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Now what?
Well, you can stay in a hostel. I did that once.
Yeah.
I'm never doing it again. I will sleep on the ground with the homeless people next time.
Okay. You like your hostels, and I don't understand it.
Well, I've stayed in hostels. Yeah, I was just in San Juan and we stayed in a hostel there. I didn't mind it. I thought it was nice. I mean, I was with 3 other people. We had our own bathroom. That's all I really care about. So it was fine.
I consider myself a glamper.
Yeah.
Like I need my camping to involve 4 walls, a bed, and my own bathroom, maybe a deck.
Deck?
Some sort of room service. So I guess I want to stay in a hotel. That's just what I want.
There
I
you
don't want
go.
to camp at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
My hostel, if I stretched my arms from side to side, and I'm not a very tall guy, I can touch both walls
That's
of
too
my
much.
room.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
small.
I was a little freaked out.
That's like your Unabomber
fair.
shack you're making right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So no. Once you get to the island, you can go up. Depends on where you're staying. I started in Victoria. I took the shuttle up to the trailhead, and I started at the Pachina Bay access up in.
So you can start anywhere?
Banfield. No, there's 3 access points.
Okay.
There's Pachina Bay, Port Renfrew, and there's a access right in the middle. That you get there by water taxi.
Now, is it a one big loop, or is it how's that work?
It's just point A to point B.
Okay.
Either way, north to south, south
Okay.
to north, or you can start in the middle
So it's like Mario Kart. You can do the race backwards if you want.
if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is cooler backwards. Let's be
It
honest.
is. Yeah. Absolutely. So, you know,
But you said it's not a loop though. So like when you get down to the end here,
Yeah.
how do you get back?
you take a shuttle back to where you start. So there's a West Coast Trail shuttle. It's a company there. It's what 100. And there's another cost, $135, kind of, to get you from Victoria or Nanaimo to either trailhead.
Okay.
On the West Coast Trail Facebook page, one of the recent questions is the road as bad as people say? And it is.
And this is the road to get to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's terrible. It
Okay.
is. It shakes your soul.
So what's so bad about it? It's just
It's rough. It's a logging road.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
So this isn't a paved 4-way highway
it's
to this.
nothing.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's just, yeah. It
Wow. So
shakes
it's the
you.
beginning of a horror movie. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Just getting
We always
there.
lose a guy every time.
Yeah, just getting there is exhausting. Like you haven't even started walking yet, and you're just like, I'm done.
So like where it starts, is that an actual town? Like can you like stay in the town?
No, it starts in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Like, north to south starts at the Pachina Bay access, and it is in the middle of the
Nowhere.
forest. Yeah,
Okay.
It's right on the edge of the ocean there, and there's a little A-frame cabin-like thing there where you do your orientation, and
Yeah.
you pay any extra fees, and there's people that are stationed there, and
So they have people working this trail, you know, going up as
Yes.
well, just making sure everyone's okay. and-
yeah, there's There's 2 ranger stations all along the way where people are there 24 hours a day. The most awesome people you've ever met too. Like,
I imagine so.
Yeah, they know everything. Like these, ran into one guy. I don't know what the native culture is called there, but these guys know everything. Just jumping way ahead. We were there we thought we were going to walk one day. And he just wets his finger and sticks it in the air and says, nope, you can't. The tides will come in by the time you get.
Whoa.
I'm like,
Wow.
okay, no problem.
badass.
He just knew.
That's badass.
That is
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah. So pretty interesting people. So yeah, that's kind of where you start. You can
Okay.
start in Port Renfrew too. That is a town.
Okay.
That is a little. They have a bar there, which
consult our maps here.
which we'll get there. That's the Gordon River access. Awesome little place. When you end, there's a bar that we'll talk about at the very end.
Nice.
It's
It's
just
your reward.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so day one, we've started our trail.
Yep.
Is it you can go as long as you want, or you should always like stop after X kilometers, kind of thing?
Well, you should, depending. We'll just talk real quick. North to south.
Okay.
The first day you're going to start. It's pretty quick. I would do 14 kilometers that day. Some people, hey, if you're young and in shape, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You know, if you're old and broken like me, it's a little different.
That
75
doesn't
is-
sound crazy to me now.
14K?
Yeah. 'cause-
Well, you were doing that in.
Well, yeah, we were in. I was just in Aruba with my friend Rochelle, and we walked the whole day. What did I say we did?
16K.
17K that day. Just walking around like the town and the beaches and stuff. And you don't. I mean, there you obviously know you're hiking and it's up and down. And
Yeah, I guess that's the first part then too. So how mountainous is this?
It is very, very mountainous. It is very elevated, and you're never walking on solid ground. You're walking through roots and up and down. And
Okay, this is not a
Okay,
paved trail.
Oh no, this is not. This is not nice at all.
Oh, okay.
There is quite a bit of boardwalk that they've built.
Yeah.
But when you're walking, you have to look at the ground
Wow.
because the you're walking basically on root structures.
I guess they don't want to disturb nature too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to just like bulldoze a way through.
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah, I was expecting like a nice.
Yeah. I'm
paved
wondering
trail.
how it compares to Everest Base Camp.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see. Like, I mean, for people who have done like the big hikes and like those ones. I mean, once you've kind of gotten there, I mean, did they give you kind of, like you mentioned a little bit about orientation? Did they kind of explain that to you a little bit? Like, okay, guys, this isn't your freaking neighborhood walking park kind of thing.
No, yeah, they get you through everything because it is, not solid ground. There's a lot of ladders you have to go up and down.
Oh, wow.
They, at the very beginning, if you want to save half an hour and the tides are low, take the beach walk. It's not very long, but you bypass a whole set of ladders.
Okay.
And the very first thing you have to do is do like a little switchback to get you to the top of, so it's like climbing the side of a mountain kind of.
Holy crap.
So right off the bat, you're like, this sucks already. Like, I'm not lying. You're like, wow.
Have you seen people, like you've done it, how many times have you done it now?
Twice.
This will be your third time.
Yeah.
So when you were there, did you see people like all of a sudden, like first day, be like, nope, and just turn around kind of thing? Or?
No. No. One of the funny stories we'll touch on is I did witness a young lady from Germany or Switzerland.
It's all the same. It's all the same.
Matter.
It's all the same.
She seen a bear and she pulled out her bear mace and sprayed herself in the eyes.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. That was brilliant. So yeah, that's jumping ahead a bit. But yeah, when you first start out on the north end, you're gonna go through a series of ladders. You're gonna go up this one little switchback that takes you to the top. That sucks a little bit. When you get up there, it's not bad walking from north to south. It's pretty level. There's a really nice lighthouse on the right that you can stop and have your lunch there. Overlooks the ocean.
Is it like Treebeard says in Lord of the Rings that when you're going south, it feels like you're going downhill?
You know what?
Don't laugh at me. That's a fantastic reference.
I don't think it ever felt like you were going downhill. I think it always felt like you were going to die. We talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
I like it.
That'll be my one of 3 Lord of the Rings references today. We're in the woods. We're going to have to talk about ants. I'm sorry.
You get 3.
We have to talk about the ants.
And are those the tree people?
That's the tree people,
See?
yes.
I kind of knew that. Yeah, like I would say if you're going to hike, when you get up those switchbacks and you start, a nice place to hike to 14K, I don't know, get you to the you're going to cross Darling River there. There's a nice campsite. Oh, where are we going to stop here? Tesonicus or...
Are there a lot of campsites or are they very spread out?
There's lots all the way.
Can you camp just anywhere? Like if you're like, you made it 9 kilometers and you're like, I'm done today. Can you just go on the side of the hill?
No,
okay.
You have to get yourself to a campsite. Darling River has got camping, toilets, bear bins. Hang out there.
What's a bear bin?
So there's bears on the trail.
This is where they keep the bears?
No, it's where you keep your food. So you put your food in. It's
so
made
the
of
bears
steel.
don't get into the bin.
You don't get that.
So what do you bring for food then?
That's the thing. I took a lot of that freeze-dried food packs that you buy at Costco or MEC. You just make it on the trail. I took lots of granola bars, those fruit cups that are sealed.
Oh, okay.
What else did I take? Crackers, cheese, because it doesn't really
need some fats in you, I guess.
Yeah,
to keep
fat
you alive,
is amazing.
Right? Yeah.
And those pepperoni sticks that really you don't have to keep them cold.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got a bunch of those in our hockey room. We got on our team. His mom works for like Schneider's or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, here's like 1,000 pepperoni sticks. We're just going to throw them away anyways. And we're like, well why? Well, technically, you got to, not keep them on the shelf for so long. We're like, I'm sure they're still good.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that saved your life, powdered Gatorade.
Powdered Gatorade.
One of the fellows I met on the trail who's become a really, really good friend of mine had powdered Gatorade and saved my life the first time. I was just like, I need this.
That's awesome.
That's it. And
you just eat it? Like, remember we used to eat like Kool-Aid out of the packet?
There was a while I was so dehydrated, I thought I might just snort it. It's just like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I think if you read the back of the Gatorade bottle, it does say that. In extreme conditions, you are allowed to snort Gatorade.
I think you can.
Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so you've made it to your first stop. You made it the first night. We say, what, about 14K?
About 12 to 14K. Yeah, you can push it. You can get up to 16 kilometers on the map.
Now, when you're staying at these places, kind of thing, you have to bring your own tents, obviously.
Oh, yeah, everything.
So that's going to be a good point to bring up, what to look for when you're getting a tent.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Everything is lightweight. And the biggest problem with that is lightweight equals money.
Okay.
The tent that I use is about $500, and it's basically a one-person tent. But it's light.
But it weighs nothing.
It's a MRS tent, yeah. MSR tent. and it weighs nothing.
Does
And
MSR mean something?
it's just a brand.
Oh, okay.
It means it's good, amazing quality.
Okay. So if you're doing this kind of stuff, it doesn't hurt to spend the extra money ahead of time.
Oh, spend it all
on the tools that
Yeah,
are going
man.
to keep you alive and
Yes.
sane. And
Whatever you've got to do. The lighter, the better. You see, when I did the first time I did it, my pack was 52, 54 pounds when I started. I'll never do that again.
yeah.
That's too much.
So now what's your goal weight, let's say?
37 pounds.
37. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you start. And then
That's when you start.
obviously as you go, you lose
Yeah,
it.
and
here
I
and
made so many mistakes the first time, I'm pretty experienced at this, but I packed too much clothes. I thought I was going to read a book, so I took a book, but you're not.
there. There's a pound right there, right?
Because when
That'd be me.
you're done hiking for the day, it's just, no, I'm done.
Yeah, you don't need 17 Cosmos, Audrey. You'll be fine.
Come on.
2. You can take 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So once you've camped your first night, and like you said, be smart, looking for lightweight stuff.
Lightweight, set up camp, and then just enjoy it. Like the best part, it's like there's two best parts: the hiking and the not hiking.
Yeah.
When you get to your camp, you set up. If you leave early enough, you get a good spot, and you just hang out. And that's just it. Like if you got something going on in your head, the ocean's going to fix it real quick.
100%. I agree with you.
You know, you're just there, and just like I said, I thought I was going to read a book. I thought I was going to do all this cool stuff, but you don't. You just sit there and you watch the ocean.
Is that right?
Yeah,
And I
and-
mean, you must meet amazing people kind of too. And
The craziest people, like just they're all you. They're all you.
yeah.
It's a community. When you get there, I met a 75-year-old man hiking
Wow.
who had done it when he was 40, and he was just doing it, and they were doing it over 11 days.
So taking their time,
Taking
there's no
their time,
rush. Yeah.
having fun, and at the same time, I met a family who had an 11-year-old little girl who was doing it with them too. They were just taking their time, having
That's
fun,
amazing. I love
Yeah.
that.
and like there's some spots on this trail where you really do think I'm giving up. It's a mental game as much as it is physical.
That's a good point to bring up. So like, a lot of these things you have to go into it knowing you got to be strong. You got to have to like push through.
Yeah,
you know.
the thing is pushing through. But at the same time, what gets you through it is the fact that you are in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell coverage. Fun fact.
Ooh.
0 cell coverage.
Okay. So
From
what
start-
happens if
If you get
go
hurt,
down and-
if you get hurt, there's people everywhere on the trail
Okay.
going both ways. You'll find a ranger station. You can flag down a boat.
you're that close to the water? That,
Oh yeah, at some points you're not always walking in the rainforest. There's quite a bit of the trail where you have to walk to take a beach route,
Oh.
or what we call shelf walking, which when the tide goes out, you're walking on
the rock shelf.
You just walk along.
Wow.
And there's lots of that,
Interesting.
and I recommend it because at least it's flat,
Oh,
except
good
for
point.
one part where it's a slog.
Which is where?
Yeah, I forget where it is now because there's a point where you don't even know where you are anymore.
Oh,
You're just
wow.
like, I'm so focused on going forward.
Yeah.
But the beach is on a little bit of an angle, so that your right foot's always slipping down as
okay.
you're walking, and that really gets annoying after a while.
Yeah, your ankles probably just get real sore.
And by this point, you're just angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it. So now we've stopped our first night.
Yeah.
We've tented. We're okay.
Yep.
Where in the tent areas are? Is there like stores and you're looking at me like I'm a freaking idiot here.
Like,
So,
what do you mean by stores?
I don't know. Like if you wanted to buy, I don't know, more powdered Gatorade. Is there like no?
There's nothing. There's
Okay.
there's just
So,
you and the trees.
when
And
you were doing this
we'll
trail-
get there's one spot now, but there used to be 2 really unique spots.
Okay.
And when we get to day 3, I'll tell you about
Okay.
that.
So
yeah.
we survived day 1.
Yeah.
Day 2. What's our trip look like?
Day 2, get up early. Get up at like 5:30. Have your breakfast.
5:30 in the
Yeah,
morning?
because you want to get to your next spot around 1:30. You want to enjoy that daytime on the ocean. So hike, get it done with,
Makes sense.
and then you're on the beach.
Okay.
So day 2, get up early, have your breakfast, do what you gotta do, pack up,
Yep.
and start going. And drink water. Drink about 1 liter of water before you even start.
Before we go, you mentioned pack up. I just want to come real quick back to that. Is there any kind of tips you can give to people on how to pack up? I feel like
Sure.
there's got to be like a amazing science to this. Like,
Yes, there is. Put most of your weight around your hip. So this is how I did it. I have several backpacks, all Osprey packs. I have a 105-liter pack. I have a 88-liter pack, a 75-liter pack, and a 65-liter pack. They're all very expensive, Worth every dime.
Again,
The first time I did it,
yeah.
The first time I did it, I had a 105 liter pack. Don't do that because
Okay.
you can just pack more stuff in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I put my tent underneath on what they call a sleeping bag pouch.
Okay, yeah.
I put the sleeping bag on the outside, and it was in its rain cover too, so that just kind of hung on the bottom. My stove, my pad, my pillow, all the Survivor stuff kind of hung out above that around my waist area.
Okay.
Socks and underwear were on the outside pouches. You kind of unzip stuff from in there.
Okay.
Foods at the top. First aid, my knife, just survival stuff, matches, whatnot, was in the top of the pouch there. On the outside, I would put the book I never used, which I did use as fire to start a fire.
Yeah.
$30 book. I didn't care after that point.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just try and keep your weight around your hips and make sure your shoulder straps are tight so that the center of gravity of the bag is sitting slightly past your shoulders.
Almost like it's pushing you forward a little bit kind of thing?
Yeah, because then all the weight just sits on the strongest part of your body, your shoulders, your hips, and your legs.
Is there anything you've seen that like there's a hey, you should watch this video about how to pack your bag or that kind of stuff?
Just Google. I mean, YouTube packing your backpack.
Yeah,
for
don't guess, look into it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then use poles. I think the science behind that said that if you use poles, it takes like 30% of the weight.
Usually like walking poles. Like
Walking poles, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And on this trail you should, because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to come across where you're going to need it. It's the wet coast trail they call it too, because it rains. So you're going to want those poles. You're going to be walking across logs. You're going to be going through sloggy muck, and you're going to need those. You're going to need them.
I don't know if I can handle the rain. Like I used to work outside doing a forklift, and like I didn't mind being in the cold. You give me the coldest day in the year, I don't give a crap. You can get as bundled up as you want to be, but fuck me when it rains.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the worst.
Once you're wet, you're wet. You know?
And that is this. I always say there is no such thing as bad weather. It's just the wrong gear.
Okay.
So you take a really good rain shell.
Yeah.
But the West Coast sometimes it just rains all the time. And I was lucky the first hike, no rain ever, not for 1 minute. Second time, the first 2 days sucked.
Yeah.
It was rain.
So definitely invest into a good rain poncho. It's not buying called a poncho. That sounds cheap.
Just a shell. Like I got a really good one from SPYCHAJ North Face. $135 I think I paid for it, and it's got that special coating on
There
it.
you go.
And,
There's our first promo plug today. SPYCHAJ.
SPYCHAJ. A little shout out to Raylan SPYCHAJ, manager.
Yeah, go see the one in Midtown, right?
Midtown,
That's the best SPYCHAJ.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so day 2, we're up at 5:30 for some fucking
We're up and
reason.
gone. We're up and gone.
And we want to get to, you said to 1:30. And what happens at 1:30? Like, why that?
You should be done.
Oh.
I had it where I would leave, start walking at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
And then
when you say done, I mean, like, that means like your next campsite?
the next campsite.
And then what do you do for the rest of the day? Just hang
You
out?
sit and enjoy the ocean.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
isn't so much see, in my brain, I'm thinking this almost as like a race. This isn't a race. This is like
a thing.
enjoy the nature, enjoy where you are kind of thing.
Right.
Like I remember watching this documentary about there's this place like in I don't even know where it is, like Minnesota or Montana or some crap. I don't know the states very well.
Mm-hmm.
Where these two guys escaped from a prison. And they ran a crazy amount of time, finally got caught, whatever. And then somebody decided to try to retrace where they went because it was an insane amount of distance.
Yeah.
And that became like this annual race. And he would do it 3 times kind of in a row, like no sleep kind of thing. It was crazy. And that's what I thought this was supposed to be like. This is supposed to be like get whoever gets
your
their first
personal
wins.
best.
Yeah. But this is more about just enjoying the trail.
Yes, but there's a couple great videos on YouTube also of some extreme runners who do the course nonstop, 21 hours.
Just ran.
Just run it.
Wow.
So there's 2 ways of doing this.
Yeah, crazy.
There's crazy,
Yeah, there is crazy.
and there's enjoy it.
Right. And full disclosure, the first time I did it, how old was I? In my 40s. I'm 46 right now. So a few years ago, we did it in 4.5 days, and
Okay.
I don't recommend that. But I met my buddy there, and we just decided, let's just crush it. Let's just be old men, be old men trying to be young men one last time.
Okay. So it can be done.
It can.
Yeah.
I'll never do
Never
it again
recommend
like
it, right.
that. No, I'm doing the old man hike now.
Enjoy the scenery, enjoy where we are, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So day 2, we've gotten to our 1:30, 2 o'clock point kind
So
of thing.
day
And
2,
where's that
you
take
guys
us?
want to go to Susiet Falls, and it's
There we
the
go.
best site.
That place again was called
Susiet Falls.
Susiet Falls.
So there's a waterfall there, and that comes down to a little pool. And if you get there early enough, and there's no one there, you can just drop trow and have a swim.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
And it's
just
cold.
beautiful.
It's just great. Yeah, you can have a shower under the falls, and if there's people there, you just wear your pair of shorts. You can still go for a swim, but that is the spot.
Okay.
Some of the people like to go from day 1 to day 2 and stay at Susiet Falls for a whole 24 hours. Don't hike the 3rd day.
Okay.
Just hang out there, because
Again, there's no rush, right? This isn't a race. Just,
no, there's not a race, Wade, like the first time. But yeah, you hang out there, and that's the most soul-inspiring spot. The falls are there.
Yeah.
The ocean's rough. It's just coming in. You can go out, and some people were swimming in the surf there, and the water's cold. It's not the warmest place in the world.
What time of the year are you doing this in?
I did it in July, and I've done it in September.
And you prefer?
July.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I just got the right time of year. It didn't rain.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe
was nice.
I could go July again, and it will rain.
So how far from day 1 to day 2 are we walking this time?
Another 12 to 14 clicks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really nice hike that day. I had not started. It had not become a mental game by this point yet. It was still fun.
Yep.
It was, you got there. I thought it was amazing. I got in my flip flops, walking in the sand. I got there early, so I went for a swim.
Yep.
I had a bath, so to speak, and
I feel like we're coming up to the second act where the problem starts.
Yeah, the problem starts soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you made this day 2.
And
It's
this
beautiful.
is where I started to meet people,
Which is cool. That's another
And
great
so
aspect of it.
I met a really, really good friend of mine who will be a lifelong friend now. His name is Dak. And I met him there, and we became friends because we were just shooting the shit, but it was the powdered Gatorade and the cheese, which I never thought of. Cheese, fat.
Yeah.
And we just sat there sharing cheese and meat back and forth and the Gatorade, and just like he had to borrow my filter because his was broken, and we just started chatting. Then I met another young lady and her guy there, and we kind of all ended up hiking together as a group from that point on. And we had the most fun. That night was everyone. This is where you realize everyone is you. There were some other people that had a fire going, and they said, "Hey, everyone, come on over and just." It's not a party. You listen to these stories. One lady was a surgeon. Her husband was some big wig doctor somewhere. But when you're all sitting around a fire, you're just people sitting around a fire.
Yeah, your old Joe Blows.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't matter what you do. And one guy sparked up what people smoke on the West Coast.
Well, it's legal now.
Yeah, and if you partake, awesome, and we did.
Yep.
And there's nothing.
If it's in BC, it's gonna be some good weed.
There's nothing better than getting high on the West Coast with the rainforest to your back and the ocean in front of you.
Yeah.
I recommend it. Just go there to get high. Like, let's face it. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
You go there, even if you don't smoke, just get out there, try it one time.
You walk the trail, me, Audrey will hang back and get high, and then just
you
take lots of
pick me up.
pictures.
Yeah. And that's so that night, that second night, I remember. I've never seen the Milky Way. You see it in pictures. That. It was about 1 a.m, and let's face it, I had to piss. I had to go. So I get out and I walk out towards the ocean, and I'm just doing my thing. And as guys do, sometimes we put our head back.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and I've never seen stars like that in my life.
That's
There is
amazing.
no light there. You are in the middle of nowhere. And I seen the Milky Way for the first time. And I backed up 20, 30 feet, and I laid on the beach. And I just, you let your eyes, and as your eyes adjust, you see everything. And I've never in all my life seen stars like that.
We're so used to having all this fake light around us that it really is amazing when you can kind of be away from that.
Right.
There's it's a really obscure Disney movie reference. I think it's called like Tall Tales, and it's about like that axe guy and his big blue cow has one of the tall tales, and then this black guy who can he's like the strongest man. He's doing a rebel thing, whatever. But anyways, he meets them on this kid meets them on his little journey, and they're out in the middle of nowhere, and he keeps talking about how amazing the city is. And there's bright lights everywhere and stuff, and they're all like, well, how do you see the stars? And he's like, oh, I've never really thought about that. Right. It's like, we don't really see that stuff anymore and take that for granted. So, I mean,
and I did take it for granted. And I grew up in a nature situation, being on a farm, and my grandfather and my dad, we were always go outside and just go outside.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments, like I said before, if you've got stuff going on, that coast will fix it. Yeah. You'll know who you are at the end of it.
That's amazing, man.
And that was one of the things, just laying on the beach looking at the stars. I recommend it to everybody.
That's awesome. So but now we're coming to our second act. We're going to start kicking the ass now.
This is day 3. Gross. Day 3 starts awesome. Breakfast ready to go.
Yep. You mentioned you brought like a stove with you.
Yeah, you brought like a little jet boil. People who are in the hiking culture will know it's a little jet boil stove. You put a little fuel
propane things
on the bottom. Yeah. And put water in it and boil it, or you put your little pouches in, and if you had to heat it up, or I took a bowl of ravioli there. Don't do that. It's heavy, dry food, right? So again, learning mistakes. But so you eat that first. Pack up and away you go. And this is not bad. When you start off, you're going. It's not bad at all. Nice trail. Things are good.
Yeah.
Then you get to a little point where you have to take a water taxi across. Oh. And you have to wait, and the water taxi doesn't start running until 9 in the morning. I didn't know that, so I had like an hour and a half to just sit on the edge of this little ocean bay.
Okay.
And when I say water taxi, it's a boat.
It's some dude paddling you across. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's cool. So when you get to the other side there's a fish shack, and now you can buy things. Fresh fish where they get it's caught right there.
It's going to taste amazing.
It's the best. It's expensive, but who cares?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Take my money.
Yep.
And you can get fish, and you can get chocolate bars and Coke and beer if you want. And I did have a beer at 9 in the morning. Why not?
Why not?
Exactly.
It's AK, right?
And you hang out there and you talk to this guy. He's the best character. And it's good because there's some real food. There's a little bit of...
Having that fresh fish must just be amazing.
It was the best. Yeah. So, and this day, you couldn't have gotten any better. After the fish shack, you hang out, have your fish, spend some money, guys. Support these people. Take about $100 with you.
Yeah,
cash. And when you start off there with your beer in hand, and hey, garbage, what you take in, you take out.
Okay.
Your garbage, you take it out. You don't, be good people. You want to keep it as natural as possible.
Garbage cans, obviously. Don't you? If you find garbage cans,
there are no garbage cans.
There's no garbage cans.
Trek it in, trek it out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
that's a good point to bring up.
Like I did. We'll get to the whole socks, underwear story in a minute.
Yep, that's coming up. That's Act 3.
And shoes. I set my shoes on fire too. It's true. Yeah. Yes. Once you leave the fish shack, there's a little reprieve here. There's a lot of boardwalk. A lot. So it's a little bit, you're making time, you're going. And this is where we were just having fun. Me and my buddy that I met there, we were just talking about stuff, and you're just talking, you are having fun, you can go. And that day it was a quick day because there is so much boardwalk. Mm-hmm. But when you're off the boardwalk, it's not as much fun. There's roots everywhere, and then sometimes there's a 3-foot drop you have to drop down, and you got to go up ladders. And when I mean ladders, like, it's not just like 3 or 4 steps. It's
like a big rope ladder kind of thing.
And there's one ladder system you're going to get to that'll change your life, but there's a lot of ladders you got to go up, and you got to really be careful. And but that day was fun. Jumping backwards a little bit, at the orientation, someone said something. Well, when you get to the beehive or the wasp nest, you'll know. I'm like, well, how am I going to see a wasp nest? And I got to this point where you're up on top of the cliff. You're hiking right along the edge of the cliff, kind of, and it opens up. The trees clear out, and you can see the ocean. You can see Washington State from this point too now.
Oh, wow.
And I just happened to turn to the left of me, and there was a wasp nest in a tree the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. So, okay,
oh my God.
Well, that's the nest.
That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
That one.
Wow.
So I found it. And that's kind of fun because you know, since Tyler's a Lord of the Rings geek, when you start up again,
We'll say fan.
It's true. You should show him the room downstairs.
Oh yeah.
he's a geek.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. If I'm a comic book geek, he can be a Lord of the Rings
Yes.
geek.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when when you start back up on the trail, you start and it's like the trees. It's like you're walking into a cave of trees.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
little. You just go and. Yeah, it gets mucky and messy at this point. Make sure shoes, man. Again, waterproof shoes, boots, hiking boots. You're gonna want the boots that go past your ankles.
That's a good point to bring up too. So
A lot
for
of people,
footwear.
a lot of people think that hiking shoes are great. Yeah, they're great for normal hikes.
Yeah. This is not your normal hike.
This is not a normal hike.
This ain't your daddy's hike.
Right. The hike I'm doing
was terrible.
this year is going to be a little more normal.
Okay.
I'm going back to the West Coast Trail next year, but this year I'm going to hike in hiking shoes. But this one, yeah, you want it, and you want waterproof because man, you're going through some mud,
Yeah.
and rain, and you're gonna the ocean's going to get you.
So as day 3 goes on, kind of you start before the fish shack.
Yeah.
You get to the fish shack.
then you go.
How much further do you want to go after that one?
You can go as for
Because how far from where you've stopped to the fish shack? Are we talking kilometers? Are we
it's
talking...
not much. Like the fish shack is like within the first hour and a half.
Okay. So you've made it that
boom,
far.
Yeah, you're having fish and beer for breakfast.
Right. That
Yeah.
sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah. From there, we went kind of to Carmana Creek. We kind of hung out there, and that's the spot where it's like, this is amazing again. It flattens out.
Okay.
And so at this point, there's some funny. You're going. It does before you get there, and it's too bad. There was this place called Chez Monique's, and if you hiked before this year, you got to experience it. And
It's closed now?
her and her husband passed away actually, but it was the $25 burger and beer and booze and pop and chips, and it was the spot on the hike.
Yeah.
And Monique, she cooked the burgers, and it was worth it. It was 25. Who cares? It could have
Yeah.
been a $50 burger. I would have bought two.
Yep.
And we've got great pics on my Facebook page too of us just hanging out there, drinking, having fun, and having these burgers and just fueling up. So on 2 days you get 2 good meals.
That's
and
awesome.
you just keep hiking, and this is the fun part where even though you're exhausted, this day we were having fun. We were being goofy. We were laughing. We had to stop because I forget his name now, but the other guy we were hiking with had to go to the washroom. And so we're just waiting around, and he comes back and he's just yelling, I had the most amazing open door poop ever.
These are things you would talk about on this trail.
And you do. And so the bathrooms are wooden shacks with like compost toilets.
Yeah.
They're not even toilets, just like, whatever. So, but the ocean's right there. So all 4 of us had to go have open door poops just because.
Yeah, you want to be the first person doing that one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, and you're just you're in the middle of nowhere, and there's the ocean. And again, hey, who cares?
You said like anything that can be solved near the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the most fun. And that day was the most fun. But also when we started off again, that's when the mental started to kick in for me.
Okay. I
I was tired, and knee issues.
You're not sleeping amazing. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you are.
You're not on a plush size,
No.
king size.
You're on the ground.
bed, right? So
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's mice.
Oh,
There's a
now you're out?
There's a mouse story coming up. So, yeah, from there it started to get tired. I was really, that you're starting to fatigue when you stop talking.
okay.
When you stop talking, you are dialed in.
Yeah, you're
you
just
are
like
just watching your
left
feet,
foot, right foot,
You
yeah.
are going, and you are just counting. There's mile markers as you go, and you're waiting for them to come. You're just, am I there yet? And this day, we really went hard, and by the end of it, I was starting to feel it.
Yeah.
I didn't drink enough water, and when we got to this campsite, now the real stuff, you're tired, you're sore, you're dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Are there fresh water stations at all?
Oh yeah, no. What there is there's creeks that come down that go into. That's all fresh water that comes off the mountain.
Right.
So you take your water filter there and you fill up your water.
That's another obviously smart thing to bring. Let's mention that.
Water filters. There's two. I just switched to a UV water filter. Great one on the market. Atmosphere has them. MEC don't
Sport Check in Midtown.
No, Sport Check in Midtown doesn't have, but they have an amazing selection of shoes, skis, and outerwear. So
Nailed it.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
I think you just made $5.
I think I did. Yeah, she's gonna have to give me some money now. I'll call her later.
Yeah.
So we just rehydrated there, and Dak shared the Gatorade with us again.
Yep.
And that's it. Take your Gatorade, powdered Gatorade, all the way. And that's when you just like we were done. We started a fire and went to bed. Like we hung out at probably 2, and that was it for us. It was sleep. And the next morning was the worst day on the trail. So again, you get up, you're gone.
Yep. So day 4, we're up at now.
We thought this day we are going to kill it. We're like, yeah, we're going to do the extra. We're going to do 16, 17. Oh, yes, it is. It's the 17-kilometer day.
Oh.
There's one day you have to do 17 clicks between 2 parts. And
Here it comes.
so, yeah, we thought we're going to smash it. Let's go.
Yep.
And it all went bad.
It went all the shit.
It went bad. So we started, and it's sloggy and mucky, and I missed a turn somewhere. I was walking the beach, and I had to probably backtrack half a click, so I'm pissed off at this point.
Oh, no.
And we all kind of got our bearings together, and it's going great. It's going great. We're slaying. We're almost close to the end where we want to kind of just stop. And the lady we were with sprained her ankle.
Oh, no.
Bad. Bad.
Yeah.
So, shit.
So what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Well, how did it work? Her boyfriend went ahead to just go get help.
Okay.
Because there was a ranger station coming up. So Dak and I basically, we just hobbled her out. So that added
That's tough.
3 hours to our day.
It's a lot of extra time.
Not a lot of water. And we just got her down. And this is where there's a huge ladder system here. Like you're going down 200 feet into a river, into a ravine. So you're going down. So we had to get her down this, and her foot was just wrecked.
Oh, jeez.
And so we just took our time.
Yep.
We were angry, but we still love her because she was just someone you met there, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough, and then you have to carry her bag down, and so when we got into camp that day, we had not drank enough water. We got her situated in. We didn't even set our tents up, Dak and I. We just ended up going to the creek, and I remember both of us just sat in the creek. We didn't even care.
So a good bit of advice is you cannot drink too much water in this.
Yeah, you've got to have. The only thing, water's heavy, so there's lots of little creeks on the way. Stop and get some fresh water, and always have at least your liter of water on your hip. So we got her down, and we were so fucked. We just sat. I remember just sitting there, and we weren't even speaking. We were just just filtering water, just drinking it, filtering water, drinking it. And we didn't have a real good tent situation. It was packed. We got set up wherever we could, and this is where catch-22. We met some more really great people that night. We were sitting there and we were bagged, and this is where the shoe situation comes in.
Okay.
I had put my shoes around what I thought was at a decent,
Distance from the fire.
Distance from the fire.
Yeah.
And I'm out of it. And so this lady says to me, whose shoes are on fire? I'm like, those are mine.
Those are definitely mine.
So
I meant to do that. It was totally planned.
anyways, both pairs of shoes caught on fire on the sides. Didn't wreck the shoes, but they're not waterproof anymore.
Right. And these are your only shoes?
I'm only shoes, yeah.
Okay, good.
So that's good. Whatever. It was. I still have them as a token of the.
Let's call it another good rule. Don't set your shoes on fire.
Shoes on fire.
Yeah.
And this is when I started burning my socks and underwear.
Okay. Just because you need the extra space.
At this point, anything, I was burning everything that didn't matter.
Yeah.
So underwear gone, socks gone, burn them. The book burnt.
Yeah.
Anything I could. Do not take cotton. Cotton absorbs water. Wow.
You mean like your socks and stuff? Make sure they're not cotton socks.
Well, just like outfits. Like
okay.
Don't take a sweater that's not a technical sweater.
Yeah, that breathable material stuff.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that night we just that was it. Now here's the next question: how do you get off if you're injured? Her guy took her slip. You get a slip at the beginning that you fill out that you can get. If you get hurt, you give to the ranger station.
Okay.
He gave that to the rangers. They will call the rescues, and she had to hang out there, and you wait for a boat. And the boat comes and picks you up and takes you back to the access points. And then, luckily we live in Canada, an ambulance will meet you there.
Right.
And it takes you back to the hospital if you need be, and it's free.
And did he keep going?
Oh, yeah, but we weren't waiting for them, like a dickish move maybe, but we were just like, yeah.
How are you to know though? I mean, like, who knows? Maybe he was going to go with her. Like,
no, he waited with her until she got rescued.
Yeah,
and then, but Dak and I were gone. We were just, and I left even half an hour before Dak because of my knee and stuff, because you have to climb up the ladders on the other side of the ravine.
I'm feeling good. Now's the time to do
go
it.
now.
Yeah.
And so I went up and just waited for him up there. I just took a half an hour break.
Yeah.
And from this point, this was great. A lot of uphill, a lot of incline on this. We didn't say much that day. We were focused. By this point, it's a mental game. I was just like, I'm like, there on every trip. You're like, I can't do this. Fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is where I die.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's a beautiful place to die.
Yes, this is great.
Yeah.
Tell my kids I love them. Here's a little note, and that's it.
That's awesome.
This is where it got bad. Where every step was like you are talking to yourself in your head. You are just anything you can tell yourself to keep going. Yeah. This was also the day we came to a really nice spot. We had a little rest to get some water. And to the right of us was a little opening, and there was a huge rock shelf. So you're way high. You're 400 or 500 feet up, and it's a rock shelf, and you just sit there, and you're really close to Washington State. If you were to ever get cell coverage, it would be here.
Yeah.
You can see the United States, and you're just chilling out, and you just vibe out. You can be by yourself or with your friend, and we didn't speak. We were just chilling out.
Yeah.
And
just
looking
taking it all in.
That's just it. Yeah. And part of the hike is the culture. It's being relaxed, enjoying nature, and of course you have to like nature. If you want to go to New York City, you're not going to hike this trail.
No, yeah, this isn't. Yeah, this is two different things.
This is not for you. So, that day we got to the last spot, which is another beauty site. I'll have to, in the comments on this, I'll put a picture of the actual. We'll put this up on Facebook somewhere.
Sure.
I'll put a map of what I did there. But this was the last spot before you finish.
Okay.
And
this is day 4 now.
Yeah. So there's only 5 kilometers to go.
Okay.
Now on this one, you can, if the tides are right, before you get to it, walk the rock shelf. It's called the Boulder Walk, and they're huge boulders. And then you got to be careful, but you can only do this at low tide.
Right.
And
is there some sort of calendar to let you know that it's low tide?
You have tide tables. I'm looking at it on my map right now. Obviously, but there's tide tables right here on your map to the right hand side, and it tells you when the low tide's going out.
Gotcha.
And
so don't just guess.
No, you got to follow. You got to, or ask the guys, the native people that live in the ranger stations. They know everything.
Okay.
Yeah, they really do. So this is the last one. You want to get to Thrasher Cove. That's the last stop, and you can take the rocks. Do it. It saves a lot of time and a lot of. I hate this because when you get to Thrasher Cove and you think you're there on the trail, you still have to hike a kilometer to the water, to the coast there.
Yeah, because that's what the boats are.
This is straight up and straight down and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So this is the last day. We're there. We made it. There's only 5 kilometers to go.
Yeah.
And at the orientation, it's, the last 5 kilometers, they're the hardest ones, but it's not too bad. It is bad.
It's
the worst thing you're ever going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving birth is easier than this.
So you've heard.
Last 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
Holy. So we're just sitting there, best night, having fun.
Yeah.
Little cove, made some good friends, ate some good food. This is where there's mice. So, you didn't want to know about the mice, but yes, I woke up and a mouse had chewed through my $500 tent and was running across my chest. And Dak had 4 or 5 MACE in his stance. Oh yeah, you curse and swear and get him out,
Yeah.
and I plugged the hole of the sock or something and went back to sleep. It's not bears or anything you got to worry about. It's the goddamn
So
mice.
you haven't mentioned bears once. I mean, were you?
Well, they're there, but you have your bear mace. The thing is though, they're not. They're no bother. If you see a bear, give it its distance. Do
Leave it
not
alone,
try and shoosh it off the trail, because who are you? You're a person in a bear's country. Just stop.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fact
This is their
that-
house.
Yeah, enjoy the fact that you're staring at a bear.
Yeah.
Just
So I know you said you have your bear mace. Is this something they give you before you start, or do you need to bring your own?
have to buy bear mace, which you cannot take on a plane, by the way.
Fun fact.
I learned that the hard way. Yeah, have your bear mace, but if you don't have to use it, don't.
Okay.
Don't leave them alone. It's a great experience. But yeah, there's bear. You hear him in the bush.
Yeah. Don't be that guy that's trying to take a selfie with a bear.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Walk away and come back in half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we did run into some bear. That's fine. And that lady ran into a bear and ended up spraying herself.
Oh, man.
So she got.
That's gotta be the worst.
But it was funny as hell though.
It's a little funny.
It's a lot funny. If you were there, it was awesome. So this is it. Day 5's done. Enjoy the sunset. You're thinking, yep, this is where I'm done. 5 kilometers. How I can kill this. 5 kilometers sucks. You get up next day. You will do that 1 kilometer hike straight up, straight down. Now you're right back where you started, and away you go.
So you're back to the boats.
No boats.
I thought you said there was a boat that took you back or something.
No, man. You're just hiking.
Did you not just say that you start this on one end and then like a taxi takes you back or something?
If you have to get rescued, it's but the taxi takes you across this little bay to the fish shack.
Okay.
Now we're 2 days back.
I swear to God, you told me this thing wasn't a loop.
It's not a loop.
Okay, so what happens once you're over here?
You go back when you end the hike, folks.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done yet.
Oh, we're not done yet.
You go.
Oh, I thought we were done.
We're not done yet.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Continue.
we're still at Thrasher Cove.
Thrasher Cove is not the end.
It's not the end.
Oh, all right.
Okay, but there's
Back on track.
5 kilometers to go after this.
Gotcha.
And they're hell kilometers.
This is the bad 5.
This
or
is
something.
bad 5.
Okay.
It's basically all uphill both ways. Like there is no down, but there is. But it just seems like it's just forever.
Right.
It's hard. It is the worst part of the trail.
Okay.
This was the point where I got disoriented, because the day, you're dehydrated at this point. You're probably running low on food, and there's a point where you don't even care about eating anymore.
Yeah, just
you're just
keep
like,
moving.
Fuck it. I just want to be done.
Yep.
And I did find myself going off the trail at this point. I was about 30 feet off the trail, and my hiking group was a little bit ahead, which is fine. And I got my wits about me and said, okay, man, you're not even on the trail anymore.
Yeah, pull your shit together here.
I don't even know where I was. And I found myself back on the trail, and this is where this is the mental game. I was so inside myself that it was just go. I didn't look. I was watching the ground, and I thought to myself, okay, this has got to be the hard part, because we're starting to go down now. No, because then you go back up.
Oh.
And then you think you're going down, and you go back up again. And like, what is this mess?
Yep. So you mentioned that you could do this trail either way.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that once we end it all, and I'll just give you a quick little overview of going back. And by the end of it, you do realize you are starting to decline now.
Okay.
Rapidly, and you think this is it.
Yeah.
But those 5 kilometers, it feels like it never ends.
Okay.
It should be ending, but then you're not done, and then you're not done, and you're not done, and then all of a sudden you hear the ocean. And you're getting
Ocean fixes
closer.
everything.
And then you are done. And the interesting thing was Dak, he was done already, and he was on the log at the bottom. There's about a 60-foot ladder to get you back down to the ground. And I just threw my poles, climbed down, and you'd think you would be high-fiving and being like, bro, doing all that bro stuff. Dak and I gave each other a hug, and we didn't speak. We were just like, dude, we're done.
Yeah.
It was
just like the old man nod.
It was just like, yeah, we did it. And we just laid there. We just laid on the beach. Like, it was just like we did it. Because you're still so inside your head from that last 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's just like, we did it.
Man, that's intense.
So you're done the trail now, and you wait for a water taxi to take you to
the beginning.
To the beginning on the other end, or the end.
Okay.
And at this point, you're at the Gordon River axis. You're in Port Renfrew there, But before we talk about the best part of the trail for me, the best part of the whole trip, going north to south, south to north.
Yeah.
To catch 22, I guess if you're going to do the first 5 kilometers, if you're going south to north, well, now you've got a 50-pound pack on your back and you're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Some people have done more than 5K, but I would just do the 5K and then just get back to Thrasher Cove and then start.
So if you are going to start that way,
I don't think I would, though.
Okay.
I don't know if I would go. I always go north to.
Yeah, I mean,
north
you're
to
saying
south.
like how shitty this last 5K is. Even then, you would still do it the way you're doing it, kind of.
I think I would, yeah.
Okay.
But now you know you want it with lightweight. I would not want to start carrying 50 pounds on my back.
Jesus.
But at the same time, you're fresh.
Yep.
You know, that's it. You're fresh. Your muscles are fresh. You're hydrated because you've been eating normal food. It's personal preference, I guess.
Okay.
To get the
Pros and cons, right?
Yeah. From there, you're done. You sign out. Another fun fact: if you don't tell your children that there's no cell coverage, when you get back, you realize that they had mounted a search party called the RCMP and like the whatever the version of the Coast Guard is out there because they did not hear from me.
Oh my God.
For 4 days.
Wow.
They were like, "Oh yes, we have messages for you, several."
Oh my God.
So,
Well, at least they care. That's nice.
I guess so. Yeah. Right.
Could be worse to be like, you were gone? What?
Yeah. So it was just all there. Still, there's no cell coverage yet.
Yeah.
But there is a restaurant. When you're done, you just go into town there. I wish I could give them a plug. I forget what it's called, but it's the only kind of real restaurant /
which
pub
town?
there. Right in Port Renfrew there. So you're
okay.
waiting for the shuttle to come pick you up, and they pick you up there too. There's a dock, a patio that sits right over an ocean bay, and there was 5 of us that had hiked with, including Bear Spray Lady.
She made it, eh?
And the lady that hurt her ankle, she met us there, and we're all there. We're having a beer and a burger and fries. And you know, I thought to myself, when I'm just seeing all these people and what we've done and the laughs, and this is one of the greatest personal moments of my life with these people.
Wow.
You're bonded with these, and at that moment, you love all of them.
It's like Band of Brothers, man.
You guys are my family at this moment. And we just sat there and we had a beer and we laughed and
laughed at the person who sprayed bear mace in their
we
face.
made jokes about her.
Yes,
But
let's be honest.
Right to her face.
Yeah.
We're like, how did you do that? Yeah. But you know what? You're fantastic. This was good. And that place is the best. When you end it, do it north from south and go there.
And stay there for a bit.
And just, decompress a little bit and go for a walk down by the ocean. And that was it.
Timing's got to be an important thing too, because if you're ending there, you don't want to end there at like 8 p.m. at night.
No, because the shuttle comes and picks you up at 5. So it's only 5 kilometers, and even those 5 kilometers only took us probably 5 hours, and like an hour a kilometer, which is unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah. So and there's younger people who aren't broken as some of us are that can do it a lot faster, right? So if you're in tip-top shape, you're gonna kill it. But it is definitely worthwhile to end it at that end. I think so. Yeah. Some of the things now that the trail's done, the talk is the things you should do are pace yourself. Don't try and catch up with somebody who's maybe lighter than you or more fit than you. Walk your own walk. You're gonna get there, whether it's 15 minutes later than the other person, you're still going to get there. Yeah. You will hurt yourself. Yeah, if you try to rush it. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really quick, the second time I did it, I didn't finish it because I had to get rescued out. The story behind it is I had a third knee surgery about 3-4 months, probably 3 months before I decided to do my hike. Oof. And it was a major surgery, and I thought, sure, I can do it. I'm me. You're still Superman, right? Right. And I couldn't. I made it 2.5 days. Yeah. And no, my knee I could not take another step. Man, that's so rough. We pulled the plug. Yep. But even that was great. Like for the people who don't make it, and there's about 100 and some rescues a year, there's no shame in it. Yeah. Like this thing won. You're still doing more than most people will do. Yeah. You got beat by this monster coast. Yeah. When I was done, I told the guy, man, I'm done. And the boat came and got us the next day. So for 24 hours, we set up camp by the ocean and we ate and we were still. And that's something in itself to just be there.
Yeah.
And be still. And I take no shame in saying it beat me. Like, that's amazing. I take pride in it, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
This motherfucker kicked my ass.
I could not even begin to start it, so you're ahead of me right there.
And the boat ride back in itself is amazing. You're on this huge, like, Zodiac boat. And it's what a ride, because now you get to see the trail,
the whole coast
from the coast.
Yeah.
And you get to see some of the things. Oh, I remember that. Oh, and so you get to see the elevation you were doing too. Like, holy shit, I can't believe I did that.
We camped up there.
Right. Yeah. And you get a scope of how hard it is. We had to pick up another young lady. She had torn her ACL or something in her knee.
Ugh.
And so there was 2 people that got pulled off the day that I got off. And the interesting thing is that when you get there, she had to go back on an ambulance. There's no charge for the ambulance. They pick you up and take you. Like Viva Canada.
I was going to say, it's probably cheaper than taking a cab.
Yeah, like, if you're really in a hurry, just call the ambulance, right?
Right. Just twist your ankle. Yes, I was going to call, comfort cabs, but I'll just blow up my knee here and take a ambulance back, and it's free.
Yeah, there's always ways. By this point, you're friends with people, and you can get a ride back to Victoria or wait for the shuttle if you've paid for it. And but the whole experience is well worth doing, and there's great hikes. This year's hike for me is Bird Lake.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy hike, 21K, gonna mountain bike the first 7K and then walk the rest. This is one that's not so much about hiking, about being there. Hike 21K in one day, stay for 3 days.
That's a good thing you just mentioned there. Can you do this thing on a bike?
No.
Okay.
Because you can barely do it on feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, because of the routes and just everything. And the ladders.
I keep seeing my brain like an actual trail. This isn't.
No, because there's ladder systems. Like, for the people who are listening to this, go on YouTube and type in West Coast Trail hike, and you'll see some of the ladder systems, and you'll get a sense for it. And I think I painted it as insane, but it is the best thing I've ever done.
Right. I mean, anything that is worth doing like this, the payoff is going to be awesome.
That you did it.
And like you said, like the little things, like looking up at the freaking Milky Way.
Yeah.
Like having the ocean there every night. Like, I mean, that alone just got to be worth it right there.
Like, I think from the first hike, there's so many, the fun things were the lighthouse you have to walk up around.
Whereabouts is that?
Right on the first, there's one on the first day, one on the third day, and you can hang out with those, the stairways, the people you meet, the laughing, the food, Chez Monique's, which isn't there anymore, but that was great too. Let's face it, the open door poop jokes were fun. the getting wet, the fog that rolls in, those were amazing. The sleeping, you never slept so good in your life.
Right. The
Milky Way, setting my shoes on fire, everything was fun.
All these stories are like something that, like, you're going to remember these things forever.
Yes.
At no point, what's a better way of saying this? Your worst day on the West Coast Trail is still a pretty good day.
It's better than the best day at work.
That's right.
Yep. That's right, man.
So, okay, let's go back a little recap here. The things that people need to really remember. The one that you mentioned a couple times, the water thing. Making sure you've got the clean water filter.
Get the best water filter and Gatorade.
And then always getting as much as you can.
Yep.
When there's water available, get it. Okay.
Yep.
What else? The weight of the pack. You mentioned that a little bit too. So where would you kind of set that to be? Let's call it your beginner time. Your first time doing this West Coast Trail.
I'd like to say if you could do it between 35 and 45 pounds, depending on how long you're going to stay there. If you're doing a slow hike, if you're just taking your time, it's going to be more. There's more food.
Okay. Yeah. So, so the thing, and then the tents, you said, like, lighter is better. So if you can afford to get these little tents that are lighter,
of course,
it's going to make a huge difference.
A big thing I could say about plan 1 year ahead, one full calendar year.
Wow. Okay.
Because what you can do then is you can, I'm not plugging anything, but the stores that I shop at, the Atmospheres and the SPYCHAJ and the MEC and that stuff, you watch for the sales.
Yeah.
I just got another backpack that was $459 for $299 at Atmosphere. Just watch for the sales.
And the main reason for that one is it's going to be lighter.
Yeah, it's lighter. It's just...
Every pound's going to make a difference, right?
This was a 70-liter pack, I think. So it's just for a smaller hike.
Okay.
Buy your shoes on sale. The tents will go on sale too.
Right.
So if you have a whole calendar year, you know you're going to spend X amount of dollars, well, spend less and just watch for the sales. You want to have the very, very best gear you can get.
That's really smart. So yeah, if you're doing this West Coast Trail, this isn't a thing you're going to be like, hey, next month, do you want to go? Do you want to go to the West Coast Trail? This is a year in advance. Get your gear ready. Learn about your gear. Really get it prepared.
And then after that, you can go on a whim's notice because you have all your gear.
Right.
So anybody could call them. Well, I actually have like 3 of those black Costco, shelving systems full of outdoor gear. We all could go and I would still have gear on the shelf.
Yeah,
like
you got enough to do for 3 people. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So after you've spent that money, you're good. And if that's what you want to do, you're good to go on a whim now.
That's awesome.
But spend a year getting ready for it. Footwear. Do not buy a brand new pair of shoes and go.
Okay.
Buy a brand new pair of shoes and put like 100 kilometers on them. Just around, wear them everywhere you go. Go for little hikes. Like, we are in Saskatoon, Canada here, and we have a great riverbank. Well, start walking it 5 kilometers a day, 6 kilometers a day. Walk those dirt paths.
Yep.
Get them broken in because this is not the place to break in shoes.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I thought I had broke a toe when I was done the first time. I'm not sure if I did, but my toes were black and blue.
It's because they weren't broken in.
They weren't broken in enough.
Jeez.
So now I have a pair of hiking shoes, boots. I have several pairs I wear everywhere all the time.
Right.
Clothing. First aid's huge. Make sure you have moleskin. You've got Band-Aids. You want your polysporin. You want all the necessities.
Yep.
You're going to have that.
Especially if you're accident prone.
Like some. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned about the accidents kind of thing. Like let's talk like worst case scenario on this trail. You are by yourself.
Yeah.
You are doing your thing.
Yeah.
And you break your ankle.
Stay where you are.
Okay. Let's say busy. How busy is the trail for someone to come get you?
It's busy. There are people coming like each day. There's probably 20 people starting or more on both ends. And so there's people at every campsite.
So it's not a 127-hour situation.
No.
If you
every
get hurt,
campsite is packed.
Okay.
All year long.
That's really good to hear. Like
So
in my brain,
everywhere.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to die.
No, and the funny story, speaking that you said that, I really ruined someone's day. I think I had enough. It was the day after the foot accident, and we ran into some people, and Dad's like, "Oh man," they're like, "How you doing? How's things, ladies?" A couple of young ladies, "Great, you're gonna have a great time." And they looked at me, and I looked at him and said, "You're gonna die," and just walked.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I'm real sorry about him."
This is a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And they just looked. That was the worst thing I could have done. But I just had enough. I was like, "Fuck you! I hate everybody."
Yeah. Everybody sucks.
Yes.
But let's go back to the point we were trying to make is that no, you will be okay.
You'll be okay.
You will be okay.
You're going to be great. It's a great experience. Kids do it. Old men do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this is definitely an experience that if you can do it, you should do this.
And absolutely. And if you can't do this trail, there's trails everywhere. There's the go to Banff. Go anywhere. Go on our own riverbank here.
Get outside.
The Juan de Fuca on the island. There's a Juan de Fuca trail, which is just an easier trail. It's like day hikes. You can go in for the day. Well, you don't have to camp. There's all kinds of hiking. Going to the West Coast Trail is something that it's a challenge. It's like I said, even if you don't complete it, you should be kind of wear that as a badge too.
Yeah. Be very proud of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any questions, Audrey?
I don't know. I think, actually, yeah. One of the questions, what if you get your period on the trail? You have to take everything with you.
You got to take all your stuff. So
okay.
The thing though too, hey, let's talk about it. It's human. You want to kind of bring Ziploc bags. Don't have that scent. You're talking about wild animals
Bears.
there. Yeah. So just, hey, pack it up.
There you go.
Okay.
Burn it.
Oh,
I burnt
Even better,
everything.
yeah.
I burnt my socks, man, my underwear, everything.
You
Burn
must
it.
have just been stinky by the end.
No, because actually you don't. You can give yourself a horror bath if you have to.
Go bring shampoo.
I did those little things,
Travel ones.
Travel ones.
So when you go to hotels, this is a true story.
Steal them. Yeah.
Yes. That's what they're there for.
And that's kind of what I did too. I went to the Walmart in that little section where it's everything's small.
Yeah.
And bought all that. But when you get to the falls, oh, that's it too. Yeah, here's a great fun fact. At the end of it, we wanted a shower.
Yeah.
So we boiled water and we put it in a bag and we hung it from a tree and let it cool down a bit. And we just dropped trow and, separately,
Of course.
thankfully, we had a shower.
It's probably the best day of your life.
It was amazing. And when it was my turn, we boiled a whole bunch more water, let it cool down for a while.
Yeah.
Had a shower. And Dak made me take a picture of him like naked having a shower, just so he had this picture. So I was like, okay,
It's all about these experiences.
That's awesome.
that's
I
just
love
it.
that.
It's the most fun. You're just there and you find a way. And you don't. Everyone thinks, oh, you're just going to be rank. You're actually not.
Well, you mentioned too about like the right people, and I mean, I feel like when you're doing this trail, you've committed to doing this trail. Everyone's gonna be in the same boat. They all want to be there for the right reasons. They're all there to have fun.
Yeah.
I compared to when you go to airports and you're there having a great time, but that guy just got off a 5 connection flight and you're like, hey man, how's your day going? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to be like that. No. Everyone's there to have a good time.
Yes.
You're there with the right people.
Right. And make sure you socialize with people. Like you don't have to go over there and hang out with them, but say hello, ask where they're from. Like we met so many amazing people, and we did hang out with them, but it's around the fire.
Yeah.
That's probably expected too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when you're on the cruises,
Yeah, no, I'm a totally different person when I travel.
Yeah.
100%. Like I just go, especially in these other cities. Like here, if you go sit next to someone at a bar and like, hey,
I know.
they look at you weird.
Yes.
But like when you're traveling to all these other cities and you go and you sit next to somebody at the bar,
Yes.
even though the bar is wide open,
Right.
and go, hey, where are you from? And just strike up conversation.
And that's an excellent point. When we are in our normal everyday, you almost can't speak to people because you think you're hitting on them, or
you're going to offend somebody.
right.
Or,
But here you are the exact same person. And if somebody has a beer on the trail or has got a doobie on the trail, and if you don't want to smoke it, you don't get offended. It's okay, no problem. I'll smoke your share then.
yeah.
And it's a culture, and the people should treat it that way. Everybody on the trail is there for the same reason you are. And,
That's awesome.
And at the end of it, it's like you just nod. Okay, well, you didn't die today either. So
Yeah, we did it. We're alive.
That's good.
High five.
Yeah,
High five.
yeah, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this was great. I think we all learned a lot. There's I think a lot of great points here. Is there anything else you want to close with at all? Or
No, I just want to we're going to throw this up on Facebook, hopefully on the West Coast Trail Facebook page.
yeah, once it gets up.
If we just kind of were just vibing here, we were just talking and having fun. And if anyone's got any more detailed questions, get at us at the Trice Life, Wade SPYCHAJ on Facebook. It's Wade SPYCHAJ. Message me, friend me. I'll answer any questions. Or if you want to get in touch with these guys, they can get in touch with me too. But we'll answer anything you want in more detail.
Sounds
no
awesome.
problem. Yeah,
Well,
man.
thanks again for doing this.
Thanks for having me, man.
Like I said, you're the top 5 most interesting person in the world. I'm sure we'll have you on again for something
It's
else.
going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear what you guys are doing next, man.
Yeah, will be great.
Right on.
All right, see you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye bye.